and I'm like, man, I don't know what. I told these motherfuckers that motherfucker pull off. Then somebody sent me a video of the moon trying to outrun the ship.
I seen that same thing. I seen that same video.
Hey, look, when they sent it to me, they say, Uncle Raj, you said that motherfucker pull off.
You go listen. You go tell it every single time, y'all. If it's not you, even if you just go outside, you could feel it. I don't care if it's a butterfly flying, following you around. If the leaves fall a certain type of way, and they just, the ancestors is speaking right now. And every night, every day, I've been looking up at that sky, and I thank the sun. But these crackers ain't no joke, man. They gonna make their best attempt.
It ain't the cracker.
I'm
the cracker.
I know it get deep. I know it get deeper than that. I know it get deeper than that.
All I can tell you,
behind
look,
each one of them,
I'm gonna say this. They look like us, but they ain't us.
Okay. I know it get deeper
than that. They're the ones we really at war. Look, they're the ones we really at war with. The cracker is their shield. That's their Roth shield.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. They had to have that. They are AMUN, the unknown.
Okay.
Fall into the backs of the ground of society and don't be seen, motherfucker. Okay. That's where they at. But you will always know the difference because they see other people as they pets.
That's wild.
When you hear them talking about certain people, it don't matter. They're saying about pale face, but they're saying about other melanated beings too.
Them Uncle Rugged is out there.
Like a guy be like, oh, I make that bitch my pet. They literally like to use the word pet when they talking because to them it's like a irresistible impulse to say it. And it's also written that this is part of the great debauchery. That's what they did. Turn sentient beings into pets. And now our suffering, we had to suffer under the same motherfuckers that they made suffer. The ones they did the dirt to, it had to do the dirt to both of us. Yeah. All right, Chief, I'm going to let another caller come in.
Appreciate you.
All the time.
All right.
All right.
Doing well. Good to see you.
Good to see you. What's on your mind today?
I tried to call you yesterday. It's funny that you mentioned it today. I saw the flag that was down. There were two places that took the flag down. And
but did they put a white one up?
There was one white one up. The other one was still in progress, like the flag was coming down.
You seen the white flag?
I saw one white flag yesterday.
What building was it over?
Government building, but not post office. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you the location later.
Yeah. I'm looking. That's what I'm looking for. One over a government building.
Yep.
Any government building.
Yep. So I saw it yesterday, and the other one was still in progress because the guy was like literally under the flag, and I was like, "That's odd," like because it caught my attention. And so I called you immediately. Like I saw this flag coming down. What's going on? The thing is, I had two hawks for 2 days in a row now. That's been following me. Interestingly, from the same location that I drive off, this hawk is following. So it's been interesting, so to say, lately, since you and I had communicated on how things are unraveling. And I noticed like one of the things that you had mentioned on the feminine energy coming in, feminine forgot their position. And when the feminine forgot the position, they always chase the masculine. You don't chase the masculine. Masculine comes to you. And with that said, I noticed like from the old, like from my mom's tribe, which is like you and I had that discussion that my dad had to find the chief's daughter to marry off, right? So that's my mom's tribe. And then I noticed, I was like, okay, so the same thing still applies from old school time to now with technology, that they're programming everybody to chase the masculine, the feminines. The feminine doesn't chase the masculine. And they forgot that old story, old tribal stuff that's going on. Back in the day, because I've been watching, because you told me to watch some of the things, so I've been watching a lot of related documentary. Back in the day, the masculine that went to war, and then they will come back from war with gifts of beheading or whatever it was to bring it to the chief's daughter. Am I worthy enough to be your husband now? They had to go do things to show, am I worthy enough to be your husband now? Do women pick the men? Like, okay, you're good enough of a masculine to be the chief of my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now with the extra hawks that are showing up, so I know the time is near for those warrior masculines to arrive for most feminines. So feminines need to sit still and mind their business.
Wallow in your femininity.
Stay in your femininity to receive that masculine to arrive.
That's how you change the energy dynamic. They want our women to stay in warrior mode.
Yes.
But remember, they told us all of these things, our ancestors, our elders, when they were seeing it, because what you just said about them making the feminine chase the masculine, instead of the masculine presenting itself before women with his list of deeds and say, am I worthy?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the song you might remember, it say, what's this old world coming to? Things just ain't the same. Anytime the hunter gets captured by the game. It's a Motown track.
And then it reminded me from my father's time that my father, who's also head of his tribe, my mother is the chief's daughter, he went to her. He brought a ring to my mom 3 times. She said no on all 3 times. That's their story. This is my mom and dad's story. My mom said no to him 3 times. So he had to go find some high-ranking military people, and you know, it was 2 different countries. Had to go find high-ranking people to vouch for my father's masculine energy, that he is worthy to be a husband to my mother. Then he had to go talk to my mom's father and ask for permission. Before he could even do all that, my mom's brothers had to check my dad out. They took him out. That was their job. So the entire family and my dad's part of people that were vouching for him, they had to do this whole progress of work to marry my mom. So now,
because they're doing a tribal negotiation. This tribe is negotiating with another tribe to make them become one tribe. They got to make sure that they marry in high enough in the tribe to maintain their status that they have in their original tribe.
Yes.
If I take this man, because remember, man is to leave his mother and his father and cleave into his wife, and it's become one flesh. That means move out of his parents' domain into his wife's domain. If he just so happened to be the heir, when he moved, his wife inherits his mother's inheritance for him, because the money is passed from the women. This is symbolic to the exchange of the representative of mitochondrial within the female of the clans. So when the mother picked the bride for the king, he don't know who she is. He got to find her. If he find her, then he get to inherit the inheritance, right? And if he gonna get his father gonna pick one, his mama gonna pick one, but they perception of the child is gonna be uniquely different. That's what they call marriage of the right hand, marriage of the left hand, right? Marriage of the right hand is off the father line. Marriage of the left hand is off the mother line. It comes with a hard left bump. A hard left bump comes across to those who don't know the tribal tradition as a vile and vicious attack. But the ones who know what it is know that it's a requirement that has to be met in order for the tribal dynamic to continue on with the process of unifying these tribes. And the family redeemer is the one who ties many tribes together.
Yes.
By finding all of the heirs that nobody else was worthy to stand before her.
And now the programming that they're doing on social media with all these podcasts, technology is interrupting the actual flow. And the more that they listen to these podcasts on the feminine bashing or the masculine bashing, either or, you're getting out of alignment of your true path because you're paying attention and giving the energy into your separation from your true tribal core principles.
Right.
And
that goes back to the morals versus the dogma, man's law versus God's law, which is the law of the tribes.
Yep.
Right. We have weddings in the tribes where we don't need no marriage license and no motherfucking preacher standing in front of us with these bald-faced lies.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, all they did was exchange that tribal necklace or family inherited, jewelry or whatever it is. That was already an indication of which tribe you belong to, or the feathers, or the beads, or whatever it was that was residents of that tribe. So you knew from that necklace, the father, the mother, the son, the daughter, everybody had the same indicator of the jewelry that was already matching. We didn't have all these rings or whatever, or like you said, a pastor and a paperwork saying you're married now. There is no such thing. That's this programming that is creating the control of the system, basically.
Right, because they monetize in your union, because when you get a marriage certificate, it's actually a marriage bond, and it trades in the international market as a merged corporation. Both corporations under the original Social Security are two different businesses. The merged corporation is these two different businesses working to do business and to produce contractees for the future. Right.
And that's how they're circling everybody in the same contracts, keeping you exactly where you at. And because of these contracts that first of all, you don't even know who you're really marrying because you're not doing your due diligence of checking the bloodline, the inherited line, the tribal line. You're already way behind of recognizing that you're blindly walking into somebody else's life without realizing that you're also doing a spiritual contract. Then on top of that, then now, because you're tied into somebody, and if they're already flagged for something, now you don't have these opportunities that all these applications you're doing is getting overturned. It's because you're already marked. You don't get approvals.
That's what they be talking about in the church when they be talking about unevenly yoked. Don't be unevenly yoked. Because if you the heir and you marrying the peasant, you can't inherit the heir's wealth. You can't pass it to a peasant. You got to be somebody of an equal status in the family structure worthy to carry the inheritance. That means that whatever amount of self-work you did, they got to do a significant amount similar in order for you to both develop to be able to receive both parts of the family wealth. The father line is the right to rule. The mother line is the inheritance of the wealth.
And that's how I ended up in the position I'm in now. What you call me? The honey pot.
Honey pot.
I'm the honey pot.
That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Because this is the land of milk and honey. Milk comes from cows. Honey comes from bees. In order to get the milk from the cow, she got to have titties, udders. Another word for udder is oar. That's if you're rowing on a boat. Right? All these become significant links in the chain to put the pieces back together. So the ancestors told us in song, dance, and art what they couldn't tell us in the spoken or written word. Right? And through the Blues Lodge, we know that it's a sad song being played on a broken heart because ain't no love in the heart of the city. Right? So from the old wolf that howl, smokestack lightning, right? That means that the train is coming.
The train
right?
is coming.
People get ready. There's a train a coming.
I saw it
You
today.
don't need no ticket. You just get on board. They told us in the 70s, right? The tribal lingo can be used in any language on earth.
For
The
anybody
principle,
who can understand the coding. Yeah.
right. And this is why they was able to take Native American Iroquois wind talkers, code talkers, to crack the codes of the enemies in World War II because they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And the reverse of that is they couldn't crack the Iroquois language. So that tells you a superiority of linguistics because our linguistics trains the brain to be able to see in anybody else's language where the code's at.
And that's why I can speak 6 languages. It's inherited in my DNA. So when I walk around, like I can go to multiple countries and just be stealth mode, but I speak the most of the well-known languages. So to me, that gives an advantage for me to make moves, right? Like, or be in the presence and accordingly to where I'm at to either secure myself or to benefit myself, whatever it is, right? But then we forget because we have forgotten the original tongue because we've been programmed to the English language, so to say, so much that the language itself doesn't hold value or expansion in what it means. So that's why we can speak in the tongue. We can even change the words. And sometimes in some raps, that's the code. But it takes a lot of understanding to receive what the message is. And then you told me, like, start looking deeper when you're outside. And that, like, blasted me off even more now. I started from that one onion, and then now I'm like, yep. But it codes me now because now I understand that's what it meant. This is what it's related to. And those languages also help me because now not only am I looking at it from the meaning, but I'm looking at it from the coding of another language. What does it mean in the other language? Because it's not the same. It can actually give me another meaning.
Now you're reading the streamers in the Matrix, the binary code that tells the operator, what was his name? Mouse? Yeah. Tells him what he's looking at in the Matrix without seeing it as a 3-dimensional construct.
Yep.
Right. So you're reading the streamer now. Right. And the next thing is, yeah, and wait till it starts to converge to a single stream because that's your next step. You have to move into what's called the alignment. It's the middle pillar. Right. It's the raising of the Kundalini energy to the crown chakra. Right. You're trying to get the gold elixir into the queen seat in the queen's chamber. The queen's chamber is in the upper right quadrant of the brain. Right. That's why all your psychic information comes in through your anterior gyrus on the right side of your head right here.
Yep.
Right. So this is where you link to the streamer to pass the data from the motherland on the right hemisphere to the fatherland on the left. And that's why you need balance. Because with the balance, it raises the gold liquid and it allows the silver liquid to recede. Right? And when all four chambers is filled with the gold liquid,